Welcome back, story lovers. Let's review The What do you think you're doing? Well, I thought that since I had the last word on the previous video, then I'd kick things off here. That hurts! Quit squirming. Hey, story lovers. Sorry about that. Welcome back to our month of horror. Today, we're going to be going over William Peter Blatty's The Exorcist. Grab your favorite pen. We're diving in. Welcome, I'm Brian with Right Now. If you're new to the channel, click all the buttons and ring that bell. In case you didn't know, my book reviews are broken down into 3 different parts. We're going to have the general impression, a writing lesson from the book, and my overall grading breaking down into 5 different parts. Minor spoilers ahead. So, there are few stories as iconic as The Exorcist, and much of the horror on the page of this book comes from characters that are woefully ill-prepared for what they are about to face. In this story, we have shifting points of view with major plots surrounding Father Karras and Chris MacNeil. One of the things I love about this book is the level of complexity in the story. For example, both Father Karras and Chris MacNeil have multiple goals. So, for example, Chris MacNeil is dealing with the peculiar happenings with her daughter Regan, and she's also navigating a offer to direct a movie for the first time in her acting career. Father Karras, on the other hand, is dealing with his wavering faith and the loss of his mother, and is practically dragged into the whole exorcism business of dealing with Regan. No, there won't be a bathroom break. Here's what I love about the book. There's great character and plot complexity, there's gripping prose, and there's also a wonderful use of subtlety. And when the book is trying to disturb or scare you, it's very effective at doing so. But I have some areas of concern. There's little to no transitions between flashbacks, and the lack of dialogue tags, while not a big thing, can trip up the reader in places. A bigger concern is how the chapters can sometimes end abruptly, or as though they're trying to do a rushed wrap-up. And also the science sections, I think there's a bit too much focus on those, and they tend to drag on a little bit. Sort of like the writer is trying to prove how much he knows about science, rather than just telling science in the story. Damn it, anybody got carpet cleaner? I told you I had to go. Hold on 1 second. Come here. Where was I? Ah yes, concerns. Well, none of them hold a candle to the next one. If you think the movie is graphic when it shows Regan stabbing herself somewhere with a crucifix, then you're in for a surprise with the book, because this one gets even worse when it shows quite graphic, child performative and then she licks her fingers. It's sick, it's gross, it's disturbing. I think it's not needed, and the writer really did not have to put that image in the reader's mind. I think that's a big down point to the book. So something that I struggled with as the beginning writer was the principle of show, don't tell. So let's take a look at an example from The Exorcist and see how a master storyteller works. So here we have an interaction between Detective Kinderman and Chris MacNeil. Throughout this scene, we've seen Kinderman acting unorthodox for a homicide detective, with his words and actions seeming without focus or direction, which is important for later in the story. For detailed characterization, focus on this part here. Look at how the stub of a pencil is described, and picture the type of character who might sharpen his pencil in such an unorthodox, perhaps carefree way. We're not being told that Kinderman is unorthodox and peculiar. We're being shown it by the description of the item in his pocket. This is excellent character delivery. Overall, the editing was pretty clean and consistent. I didn't notice any major problems, though I would have liked the editors to catch a thing or two here and there. But overall, I give the editing a 4 out of 5. So I thought the prose was smooth and the narrative voice worked quite effectively. Although I thought that the voice lost a bit of its flair when it tended to drag on about the science bits, so for that reason I have to give it a 4 out of 5. So this is where the story really shines. I think that there's a beautiful amount of complexity and subtlety that is incredibly fun to read when you start connecting all the dots together. So for that reason, I'm giving it a 5 out of 5. So I felt a connection with most of these characters. They all have so much nuance and they all seem to be dealing with their own personal strife. My only issue is that a few of the secondary characters seem to be a bit flat, so for that reason I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. So this one's a bit of a tricky one. At the book's high points, it's an incredibly thrilling, fast-paced read. It does not feel like almost 400 pages. You will definitely end up being able to read it in a day or two. That said, on the other hand of the spectrum, you have some sluggish areas when it's drowning on about the science stuff, and you have bits like the graphic child stuff that really makes it less than an enjoyable read at times. So for that reason, I have to give it a 3 out of 5. And that brings the total grading to 4.0 out of 5. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell to be informed of new content. Till next time, bye.